Alright guys, welcome back to your body and soul harmonic analysis. We have done the first A section in the previous video, link in the description here, and what we're going to start to tackle with, of course, my handwriting on the screen and the good old real book chart is we're going to look into the B section of the bridge. So of course the form of the song is A, B, A. And for now, of course, we've done the first 8 bars of the A section, and after we analyze the B, which is only 8 bars, then we're done with the tune. So that's what I love about these song forms, which is after we look into the 8 bars and 8 bars, we have the full song. So it's pretty quickly, it's 2 contrasting sections. So my handwriting is already done here, and I put the A7 at the top, which is our last A7. It's going to be the one, here, which you'll see a change of clef. So it's giving us a pretty good indication of what's going to come after. As I said in the A section videos, like, well, let's look at where it ends. It ends on D flat. The very bottom of the song as well, if I remove my face, it does end on D flat. So the song is in D flat. Plus we look at the key signatures like, yeah, it's D flat major. Lots of flats. That's 5 flats. But if we go here at the A7 chord, right before the beginning of our B section, that's the beginning of our B, and I noted here B, we have a cancellation. So the naturals all come back to cancel this clef, and then we have 2 sharps. What's the key with 2 sharps? It's a key of D major. What's the first chord of the bridge? D. We made it safe. So I'm going to start to scribble that on top of the screen again. So I'm going to go D major like this, D triangle. Perfect. Hey, we're making good time. And then in stuff like you'll see on iReal, you'll see the chords are maybe a bit simpler than this. So it's D, E, the E minor, to D over F sharp. Good, so I'm going to jot that down. Great, so if we are in the key of D major, indeed, and the melody goes da 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 da, 1, 2, 3, 5, da 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 da, sorry, da 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 da. Da, da, da. It's all pretty diatonic to the key of. Except you may look at this and like raise an eyebrow at the third chord. So the first chord is pretty easy. It's 1 in the key of D major. The second chord is 2 in the key of D major. Now people say, what about that D over F sharp? Why would they employ these kinds of things? So this notates that we have a D triad. So or whichever inversion you want to do, and then there's an F sharp in the bass. So people would say, well, that's what we call a first inversion triad. In my very simple mind, I'm a jazz guitarist coming from a shredder rocker world way back when, so I would consider this and sort of scratch it and think of an F sharp minor 7. It does contain mostly all of the same notes, maybe except you get that C sharp, so you play an F minor, F sharp, and then you play the other way around. You play a D, F sharp, A, and then you add a root at the bottom. It does not contain like all of the exact same notes, but for analysis purpose, the reason why I write it like this, it's allowing us to think about it like 3. So 3 and 1 have a lot of notes in common in major harmony. Say you're in the key of C. If you play a C major triad or an E minor triad, they have 2 notes in common. They're really, really close by. So for harmonic analysis, I love writing it this way. So I'll keep the original, but in my analysis mind, I just go like, yeah, it's just a 3. So 1, 2, 3. Jackson 5? No? Anyone? Okay. And then it goes to G minor. So that's one of the reasons I love to write it this way. Because G minor would be 4. It's a 4, but it's minor, and it's a cell. It's a cell onto its own. Well, when you look at that, squirrel in my window. I wish I could show you. Hello, little squirrel. No, it's the next tree over. No. Yeah. Okay. Good. Go find your babies. Bye. Take care. So even if it's 4, right now I'm not going to notate it necessarily as 4, that G minor, because we're going someplace else again. So I'm going to put this on hold for now and just come back to the iReal to show you that, yeah, this is legit. And what I love about this movement is that it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the C is sort of a mystery thing. And we'll get back to this notation in just a little while. So we're here in that bar. Again, see, we have that F sharp minor, which is 3, which is already already notated as a sharp minor to a B minor to a, running out of space here, to an E minor to an A7. So that space should be here actually. Good. And the way to notate this is pretty easily looking at 3. It's diatonic, 6, 2, and 5. So all of these chords belong to the key of D major, and essentially what we're doing is we're putting our D as our target. So we say 1, and then we play the 5 of that. We play A before. Then we're asking ourselves, what's a fifth above? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's A. Okay, so I'm going to go from A7 to D. So I got my target. I love to think in terms of target. I got this guy going into this guy. Then ask myself again, cycle of fourths. What's a fourth down or fifth up from that? Well, it's E. If I go from A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get E. Good, so it's an E minor because this is in the key, right? So it's like, oh, 2 and 5 and 1. I've seen this a million times, and also, bonus, it's right before the first chord of the bridge. If you look at the iReal version, it's coming in here, it's going to a D. So there's no big surprise about these two. This going to D, and this going to D is not a big surprise. And then if I keep using that process, I wind up with a song like Autumn Leaves and all these beautiful songs that use a cycle of fourths. So I will find out that I have 6 and I have 3. So I'm playing 3, 6, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, and 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the diatonic chords that are present in the key. So let me go full screen to show you a moment. If I am in the key of D right now, and I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. What I've just done is instead of going one in order up like this, I go up a fourth above, right? So I go D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm racing, going a bit faster through this, but the point is, this is a cycle of fourths, but only covering for the diatonic chords. So 3, 6, 2, 5 is a really, let me go back to my screen, is a really common, what we would call, it's a turnaround of sorts. So ti, po, pe, tu, ta, po, and then we land on the 1. So far so good? Awesome. Now what about that? That's going to be the only hiccup or the only pickle. That good old G minor 7, C7. People will say, well, that's supposed to go to F. It doesn't go to F. Why doesn't it go to F? So I'll invite you to consider this sort of progression instead. If we have a destination of D, we know that our real 2, 5 at the bottom here is 2, 5, and 1. That's not happening. What we are doing is the G minor 7, C7, which we will call a backdoor. Why backdoor? Because the C7 is coming up from behind the D. So you get G7, C. It's a whole step below, right? So C up to D. So this good old backdoor is found in the infamous song is Lady Bird. It's found in countless songs, but it goes actually, so 4 minor to flat 7, flat 7 into not F into 1. And now, so I'll just write this here. BD, backdoor. Now people will start to argue, say, but Marc, this is not a backdoor because the next chord is not 1, right? It's F sharp. It's not going to 1. Well, let me tell you this. F sharp, minor 7. We have already argued that F sharp minor 7 is a really good substitute for 1. So 3 and 1 are really friendly because they have a lot of common notes. So some people in songs will write D major over an F sharp note. So what I would say is like, actually we could put that nomenclature right there. Instead of 3, 6, 2, 5, write 1, 6, 2, 5. And if that chord is 1, then the backdoor makes sense. So this is very close harmony to what the actual diatonic stuff is. It's just stretching out for a little bit. And if you guys want to seek out further resources about that, you'll find out that the backdoor is actually diatonic in D natural minor. Yeah. And guess where we're going next? We're going to a D minor of sorts. It's changing keys. Yeah, of course it's going someplace else. But what we could say, to summarize the first 4 bars of the B section, we simply have 1, 2, 3, climbing up to 4 minor, which calls upon a backdoor, to go down to a cycle that's happening to be a turnaround, going down into 1. And that's it. So now, just pausing briefly, I'm doing this off the cuff. I'm actually just shooting my studio, grabbing my tablet, doing my scribbles. Do you guys enjoy this? You want to see more songs? Let me know which songs I should do next. I've done Green Dolphin Street, I've done Autumn Leaves, I did Stella by Starlight, Summertime. Type it in. You want what you want to see, and also, would you be open to me looking into the strategies for improv? If you guys are like, yeah, thanks, Mark, that was awesome. Now, how do I play this? I could run mini workshops either on YouTube Live here or just straight up to YouTube or to podcast, and to give you like basic strategies, like what are the 3 notes you have to think about when you're soloing over that section, right? So I could simplify the things. If you guys enjoy it or you have more ideas, please leave it in the comment below, and I'll make a concerted effort to tackle the tune you ask for, provided it's not too complicated and I know the tune, and also from improv or comping strategies from a performance standpoint. All right, very good. Now let's pursue with the rest of our B section, which starts here. So we have D minor 7, G7 to a C major 7. I'm doing this backwards, I'm sorry. So this is an infamous cadence in the key of C major. It's 2, 5, and 1. If I check at the melody, we also have melody notes that are all diatonic in the key of C for this little while. Up until here, actually, all of this is in the key of C. So again, I have another 2, 5 here. It's in the key of C. So we say temporarily. If I did this properly, I would like reset the bar line and go now key of C. I don't have enough space on my tablet to do this, but you can envision it. It's 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. It's 2, 5, 1 in the key of C. And then I'm going to start with the end of mine, of course. Remember when I told you, well, we're starting with that 2 chord, the B flat, what is that? So the B flat is the last 2 beats, B flat 7. That's a 5 that's going to go back to our A section to E minor. What do we have here? We have a C7 down to B, so that's chromatic, walking down. So ba, ba, da, 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 boom, da, 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 da. So we were effectively seeking, going back here, and we connected chromatically from the C down to the B flat 7, which is the 5 of what's coming after, and which is reappearing right again. So we were seeking that by chromatic descent. This is pretty clever, by the way. So going from D major into C major and down descending to get to grasp that B flat. So that's a D major, a step down, a whole step down again, and now we have the 5 and we're all set to reset. So we've covered the 2, 5, the 1, and we have that mystery chord here. Interestingly, the note of this is a D natural, and people will say, well, what is D natural? It does not really belong to that E flat diminished chord. Diminished appoggiatura. Okay, so any note of a diminished 7 chord can either have a note a whole step above it, any of the notes, a whole step above it, like this, like, or a half step below it. That happens to be the melody note as well. So this is the way it's done, guys. It's borrowing from the assorted diminished scale that comes with that chord. Good, perfect. So what is that? If I'm in the key of C major, this is flat 3 diminished. And again, diminished 7. What I will ask you to do is, again, substitute this mentally for a 3. So see here, the roll of the 1 to the 3 is apparent. Here with the backdoor, the roll of the 1 to the 3 is apparent. Here, the roll of the 3 to the flat 3 makes sense. Why do we have a flat 3? It's because we're connecting 3, which is E minor, down to flat 3, down to 2. So we have these conditions of what I would call harmonic plumbing, right? So harmonic plumbing means because I want to substitute this and think of 3, I put a flat 3 and I put a 2. So now I go, well, that's got to be 3, 3 down to flat 3, down to 2. And it's the same here. If I want to employ the backdoor, I've got to think this as the 1, right? And if I want this to make sense, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then I have to think of this one as, instead of being 1, I call it 3. So 3 and 1 have been interchanged already 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And it's fairly organically natural to do these kinds of things. All right. And then that's the end of our analysis. I think I scribbled enough. So we're starting D major. We're going to ascend, use a backdoor, and employ a classic turnaround of 3, 6, 2, 5 going back to the 1. Temporarily, that 1 becomes minor. It becomes D minor. Why? Because the song was written this way, right? And we do a D minor to a G7, which is now calling for a C major key, which we only have here in C. In I real, my notation is actually of an E minor 7, which is 3. It's 3 in the key of C major. So 2, 5, 1, because 3, flat 3, 2, 5, 1 in C, and then we are doing the chromatic descent. And that's it for this video on the short, quick and dirty harmonic analysis on Body and Soul. Again, my name is Mark from Jazz Guitar Lessons. Please like and subscribe to this video. It really helps the algorithm if you do. And any comments, anything that you didn't quite get, or any next song you would like to see, please let me know, and I'll see you soon in the next video and podcast. Take care. Bye.